Leafs talk. JD Bunkis, Sam McKee. Toronto Maple Leafs dominate the Florida Panthers, out-muscle the Florida Panthers, out-tough the Florida Panthers, outscore the Florida Panthers, do just about everything right tonight, buddy.
That's a game that's going to make a man say some dangerous things, brother.
Yeah. Oh, this will be one. Bookmark this one, haters.
Oh, man. That was awesome. Oh, my God. What a feeling. I mean, that's probably as good as I've felt watching the Leafs since post game 2 of the second round when they won 2-0 to go up 2-0 against this very Panthers team. And it felt like they might actually do it. I guess game 6 where they win that game against the Panthers down in Florida where they have that amazing performance, but we never ever really believed in
that was a fake comeback.
Yeah, we never ever. But after game 2, we all really convinced ourselves that it maybe was different. And tonight, I will say, it was a different feel to even those kind of different games. To see the Leafs disengaged physically against a team that they've had issues being somewhat scared of at times, I would say, in terms of the physicality, to see them dictate, I got to tell you, it's a stunning result for me. The way they look tonight.
I thought you said that, dictate, because that's how it felt.
Yeah.
Like the Panthers looked like a soft hockey team that were ill prepared for the physicality of the Leafs. And what I will say is the happiest guy tonight, it's not Bobby McMahon getting the cookie at the end of the game. It's not Easton Cowan, a rookie, getting a goal against an opponent like that. It's not Austin Matthews scoring 422. It's Brad Treliving.
Yeah. DNA. His DNA showed up tonight.
Well, it's not even just that. He's designing the team to beat the Panthers.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and he's designing a team. Neither of them might make the playoffs.
Yeah, listen.
That's job success.
That's a story for a different day. Maybe he built the Panthers in 2026, right after the Cup run, still very much on the table. But you know what I mean? It's a copycat league, and when a team does what the Panthers are doing, when the Panthers knock you out a couple of times, you bring in a Brad Treliving. He's all about, he's got the little bit of Berkey in him, the truculence. He loves the big defenseman. He wants physical players. He wants a third line that's got grit and grind. He traded for a guy like Scott Laughton. And tonight, he's got to be looking at that result and saying, this is what it was for. I wanted a big physical team that could outmuscle the Panthers and hang with them. And I bet you he had a couple of quiet fist pumps watching from the media box.
Totally. And I think it's a lot of guys that you wouldn't exactly expect setting the tone physically. But I mean, Nick Waugh has played in some big playoff games and played some really physical games. But that shift, I don't know when it was. Maybe just after the first power play the Leafs had, when he just ran a couple guys into the boards after he got hit. And it just seemed like it turned up the temperature in this game. And like, I don't think it's unexpected from him, but he's a big guy, but he's not exactly Tom Wilson out there. He's more of a defensive wizard with a bit of skill to him. He's not necessarily the most physical guy, but he can turn it on when he needs to. And I thought his 2 line mates responded off it really well, with Robertson and Cowan both engaging physically. And then all of a sudden, greasy Bobby McMahon making an appearance. I mean, the grease bag he is fully turning a worm here. Like that's a dirty little run he takes at Marchand, knocks Marchand out of the game, which, they ran him out of the game like the Leaf fans ran Marner out of town. But and then he runs your Latvian boy into the M boards near the end of the game. Like it's guys that we would formerly have called somewhat soft, looking not soft. And that for me is a buy-in to what the coach is wanting them to say. And you have to feel pretty good if you're the coach after the first half of this season, what the conversations were about. Man, they're great. They're playing greasy.
I think Waugh has always had that to his game.
Yeah.
Watching him in Vegas. He
cross-checked Draisaitl in the mouth in overtime. Didn't get suspended for it.
Yeah, that was a good one. I thought he got a game.
No, he didn't. He got the 5-minute major in overtime, but then they didn't suspend him for a game.
Oh, really? I thought he got the game.
No,
wow, that's wild. I remember watching that live going, ooh, that's...
No, he didn't. He did not get a game.
Yeah. If that was Kadri, they'd never let him play again.
Yeah, kick him off the tour.
You'd been off the tour for sure. So I'm with you. I thought that the entire team bought into the physicality. It just, tonight, for the first 2 periods, man, Matthew Knies was just a different animal. Like they could do nothing with him. They didn't have an answer for it.
Yeah, he went full, he looked like 2012 Jerome McGinley tonight.
Yeah. He was just
honestly, the size, the strength, the speed, the skill. Like when he plays like this, you're like, oh my God, that contract is the best in the league in terms of value. I mean, what is
that's the unicorn.
That's the unicorn. Exactly. That's the guy that doesn't exist anymore. And then when he plays with the physicality, and give him credit, it feels like the Florida teams are the ones that always bring it out in him. And those are the two of the least biggest rivals that he plays so well against these two teams. And tonight was another example of him just being a bull in a china shop. I mean, that setup he had to Matthews, where he just shrugs off three guys, has the presence of mind to reverse it for a tap in for Matthews. Like some nights you watch this guy and you forget how young he is, first of all, and how much he still has left to grow. But you're just like, this really has a chance to be one of the premier power forwards in the league. And maybe if you weren't watching them every single night, you'd think he is. He's still got a step to go for me. But tonight, against one of the more important opponents that you could have it be against, he was excellent. Excellent game.
Yeah, I'm watching him cut to the net there and have three defenders on his back, and I'm thinking of Greg Jennings. That's a deep cut for the old.
The olds love that one.
That's for the olds. When I was doing Greg Jennings, like
look at him, man.
Yeah, Darren Sharper. That's what was on my mind when he was making that play. He was an absolute beast, man. And I will say this about Knies, because
I'm off the rails. Point, that's one of the funniest YouTube videos.
Yeah, man, old YouTube rocked.
Yeah,
old YouTube
really
was
did.
So great.
Yeah.
So to your point about the Florida stuff, he is the guy that is the most vocal now when things are going wrong, like sour. Yep. He's the guy that stood up and talked before Montreal. He's a money where his mouth is player.
Yeah,
I do like that he elevates his game for the Florida game, for the Florida matchups, and for Tampa, and that he's been this since he jumped into the postseason. Like, there's something to that for me.
I was in Hawaii when this happened, but remember at the end of last year when they played? I didn't watch either of these games, but they played horrendously against the Florida Panthers, and then in the second half of the back-to-back, they played Tampa. And did he call out the whole team?
Yeah.
Being like, we were soft, we were terrible. And then he went out and scored a hat trick and including the overtime winner the next game. So I love that he's willing to go out there and put himself in the line and does what he does. Surprised he only played 15:59 tonight. I guess they were just rolling all the lines. Everybody looked really good. It looked like it was a full team effort. Fourth line definitely earned a little bit more ice time tonight. I thought they were good. But yeah, Matthew Knies was just breathtakingly good tonight.
Well, that's kind of the only byproduct too, though, of not having him play with Matthews, right?
Yeah, he's just not going to play as much.
Yeah, he's just and I'm fine with it, because if you want that level of physicality, I don't want him to wear down as the season goes on. I know he's young, but I need that Matthew Knies for the big games. And honestly, every game for the rest of the season is going to be a big game, because everybody has the same amount of points. Nothing really matters. No one's running away with anything. Like they showed the graphic where it's like Columbus is there with over 500 in points. Just it's like
Gary's dream. Finally, pure mid.
No, I know.
League.
Buddy, Gary for this season, it was him. It was the Breaking Bad cutaway scenes where it's just Walter White, Jesse, just cooking in the lab day in, day out. That was Gary. This season is his masterpiece. This is it. Honestly, like he's always like, I'm never going to retire. I'm never going to retire. But now he looks at the parody and he goes,
I did it.
It's the meme. Scorsese masterpiece. This is cinema. So anyway, really complete game for the Leafs. Loved their effort, loved their physicality. Liked your point about, guys like McMahon getting into it. But did you think that the Domi fight added something to it? Because I do.
Yeah, those guys hate each other. Domi with, I mean, that's one of the worst suckers in league history in preseason that he gave Ekblad when he was on the Habs.
Yeah.
But I think that this just kind of set the tone of what kind of game it was going to be. And I mean, I love it. Wasn't the best scrap I've ever seen. Not exactly, not exactly PJ Stock and Tucker throwing bombs here, but
so obviously Domi has him behind the head.
Yeah.
But I don't think Ekblad wanted to separate either. Like both guys
dropped either of his. He only dropped one of his gloves.
Yeah, both guys were very content of just kind of having a hug and try to punch to the body. That's how I would fight in the NHL. I'd be like, don't hit me in the head. Don't hit me in the head. Just squeeze and try to stay in as tight as possible. I wondered if Ekblad was thinking about like, hey, I've had conkos in my career. I don't want to get punched in the head. I'm going to keep this fight tight. Because it looked bad for him having Domi, a smaller guy, kind of hang in there and feed more shots.
But I guess like this is a nothing play. I mean, the hit
Yeah.
that he hit on him was like the softest. I thought maybe there was a little bit of a roid raid situation going on there with Ekblad again. But
The jokes are out tonight.
But I forgot that he had done that egregious sucker to him in 2018, and he absolutely hates his guts, and he's looking for any excuse to drop the gloves with him. So there you go. Reminiscent of Mayweather Pacquiao.
I hate that you even brought that up, Luke. That's one of my like saddest sports memories. I wanted that
tough.
for years. That's when Bunk was still into boxing.
Yeah.
Like that was my time where it had me, and then it lost me when those two guys fought at 100 years old. Anyway, where do you want to go next? Hold on, let me go with the notes.
So Matthews looks good again tonight. I don't know if there's too much, he scores one. He has the breakaway where Bobrovsky stops him. Just building on some of his other efforts where he just looks like himself. And I thought that line was good tonight. And I thought they had moments again. So that's good. I thought, we've been really hard on Morgan Rielly for a few weeks here. And it kind of was a crescendo after the Islanders game. And like, I don't by any means think that, he's fixed or anything, but give him credit. He's really good tonight.
Yep.
And
game.
It's, that's a sign of a guy that cares about his perception. And when he was at his lowest, the coach didn't bury him. He goes out there and against a premier opponent in the league, one of their biggest rivals. He was really good. And it's hard to explain when Morgan Rielly's good. It's just the reads are right. He's moving. He's making the right decisions. Good passes. He springs Matthews on that breakaway. Had a couple chances offensively. So as much as we've been killing him recently, I thought he was really good tonight. So good for him.
To go back to the Matthews stuff.
Yeah.
This reminded me of Team USA at the Olympics, Matthews, where he was doing everything right, but just couldn't buy one. And I know he scored a goal in this game, but how many do you think he should have had? 3?
He should have had a hat trick, had the breakaway. And then right after he scored his goal, Domi and him went in on a 2-on-1. And he gave him a perfect pass, and he was thinking about where he was going to shoot before he received the pass, and it rolled off his stick. So he probably would have had a good look there. Yeah. So
there were a couple of other good looks throughout the night, though, too, where I was like, oh, man, dangerous. Matthews is buzzing. He was fully back. He felt like the best player in the game. And there were a couple things from him, too, tonight that really stuck out to me and it was early. So honestly, the first like 2-3 minutes of the game, I thought the Panthers looked better.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, really? This is going to be this kind of night? And where I thought the game started to turn was a Matthews shift where he was getting in the corners. He was laying the body. He actually knocked Marchand off a puck. I should have gotten Luke to grab it.
No, exactly what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, he muscles him off of a puck, and he kind of gives him a bit of a shot and breaks the puck out the other way. And I went, oh, all right. Like, Sundin's in the house. You're here to impress. Yeah. Bring Mats to every game. That's the take, is like, make them feel his presence. Break him out when, not every game, but important ones.
Yeah.
Fly him in. Get him out from Sweden. Wake him up like they did in that Budweiser ad. Matthews.
I know. Poor man. Like, could they give him 10 minutes after he woke up?
I know.
But it's funny you mentioned, my first note tonight was Leafs can't touch the puck.
Yeah.
There was like the first 2 minutes of this game, I thought they were going to get filled in. And I going into this game, I was worried that they were going to get filled in, especially not having McCabe, and especially, the way McCabe plays, and having him in this game is the exact type of guy you want. But I will say, encouraged by the way Carlo looked tonight.
Yeah. Here's my Carlo note.
Barely
Didn't notice him.
Perfect. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Perfect. Like there were a couple of times where he was on the ice and I was like, oh, focus on him. Watch him.
Yeah.
And he was just vintage Carlo, where it was like, go get the puck, chip out over and over and over again, occupy big space in front of the net. Like it was the Carlo experience tonight.
Yeah.
Like nothing fancy, nothing overly exciting, just pretty quiet, won some puck battles, used his reach. Good game for Carlo. Nice for him to come back and look solid.
It's interesting on the ice times. Like they are very clearly the second pair, right?
Yeah.
Because Stetcher, again, and all of Rekman Larson, Stetcher leads the team in ice with 24:09, out there killing penalties, working his you-know-what off. Beautiful, beautiful shot pass on the Matthew Knies tip to start the second period. Goal in the last minute, goal in the first minute. It's a great recipe to win hockey games. And yeah, I mean, he has an assist. he was great again, blocked a shot. But
man, Troy, there's nothing more electric. And I know we're heavily invested, right? Like this is Troy's boys show.
Yes.
But there is truly nothing more electric than when he is directly responsible for a goal.
Oh, it makes me so happy.
But the way he celebrates it though, too, and like he's just thrilled. He acts like he really does act like he doesn't belong there when he gets points.
He's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
That went in.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's just great to see a guy who plays with that level of enthusiasm, man. Like he's the man. I really like Troy Stecher.
But I just to kind of finish off the Rielly and Carlo thing.
Sure.
I do think that that's the recipe for success when you get McKee back and you have Oliver Ekman-Larsson. I mean, it's not really a hot take. You just play them less.
Yeah.
You just play them way less. Like Morgan Rielly played 1950 tonight. He played 27 against the Islanders.
Yeah.
It's just play him less.
I think that's part of the reason why
better matchups.
You're saying he's looking better.
Yeah. Just better matchups. Doesn't have to do as much. So
yeah.
Good night for that pair.
So I want to highlight just quickly too, because there was a couple other things. One is you mentioned the goal at the very end of the game, but beautiful play by Easton Cowan. He's getting 2 forecheckers coming in on him. One of them is Brad Marchand. And let's roll the tape because this is where Brad Marchand went on this play. So
which the goal?
Yeah. The goal.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
But we didn't play it from the very beginning.
Oh, so, yeah, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why. But anyways, who cares? Yeah,
right
here.
Was he on the ice? Anyways.
No, I thought that was Marchand.
Okay. Well,
the whole night. I'm so glad I didn't tweet that. I was like, oh, that was Marchand. I just got excited about the goal. Went right into the thing. Went right into Twitter and was like cooking up the draft. But yeah, I just like Cowan avoiding both checks. Nice little crafty play. Busts his ass to get down the ice, gets to a spot. Nice play by Waugh to get it out too and set it up. And then Robertson, man.
Yeah.
I texted you before they scored that goal. I'm back in.
Mind freak.
Yeah, I'm back in. The mind freak. Every time, like almost every game now, he has a couple of shifts where I go, man, he's just digging. He's working hard. He's working as hard as anybody on this team right now. I highlighted him. So today, Myrtle and I did our Leafs at 41 show, right? The stereotypical what's the story of the season. And I had him as the most underrated story of the season because like I don't think that we talk about enough just how much his game has evolved. This isn't the Nick Robertson of old. This is a new guy that you feel comfortable with on a third line with Nick Waugh. Yeah.
No, I think Borny said it best. I was just checking my notes to see how many times I wrote down 89. I had 3 separate times that I wrote down 89.
Yeah.
I think Borny nailed it in the intermission where he said one of the biggest criticisms of Robertson throughout his career was what does he do without the puck? Okay. And like how it's not necessarily there without the puck. But that this year has totally changed for me where he's aggressive. He makes good defensive reads. He's never going to be Patrice Bergeron out there, but he's trying at least in the defensive zone. I think Waugh's a great guy to kind of mentor him in that end of the ice. He runs into guys. He digs hard for pucks. Feels like he's a lot stronger than he has been in years past. And he's passing better. Just straight up passing better. Like that was it's an easy pass to Cowan, but to receive it and get it across right away for a guy to get a tap in. Yeah, I think he's been really good. And I think if you can just get this for the rest of the season, you're going to be thrilled. And then we get to have the extension talk with him because I think he's a UFA at the end of the season, right? He's not on RFA status anymore. But yeah, good for him. He's been good. That line's been really good. And Waugh is really good for those guys. It's just still RFA, Luke says. No way. Still? It just feels like he played when he was 14 in the bubble. So I'm like, this guy's got to be UFA by now.
Yeah.
How is he still RFA?
Yeah, because the contracts that he signed, right? Like
they're all just been 1-year bangers, I guess, right?
Like that's it. So yeah, I really liked Robertson again tonight. And also little side note thing too with that goal is big for Cowan too and quality game. But he took that penalty before in the first that I thought might kill the momentum for the Leafs. And it was a bad one, man. It was like junior hockey stuff where it's like he's just swinging the stick as a guy's going by him. And nice to see just like the mental fortitude to put it behind him and continue with the game and finish strong and end up the period with the goal. Last thing for me is just it's one little minor negative. It's like it's got to give Wool a rest time. I know why you play him against the Panthers. It's a premier game. You want to have him in there, but yeah, they're starting to stack up, and I feel like he's letting in a softie every game, and that's sort of not Joe Wool's thing. And I don't know if it's rest or play related, but I would just say it's time to give Hill to be like, they're going to play a lot of games here, man. Have you looked at the schedule till February 3rd?
They play every single night.
Yeah, it's every second night. Oh boy, is there ever a lot of Leafs talk coming up. So I'm kind of, I don't mind that they played Wool tonight. I really don't. Because
didn't you think he was good? Didn't you think he was awesome tonight? Because I did.
Yeah, I did. I'm just saying the one goal he let in, I was like,
brain fart.
Yeah, just don't. That's my point, is I didn't like the goal. And it's been happening the last few games outside of the shutout where there's a leaky one on in every one of these games. My only point is like, I hope that this was more a sign of we're showing faith in our guy and what we view as our premier matchup, rather than a sign of we're going back to the uber heavy workload for Wool. And it's not closer to, I don't need it to be a split, but I kind of want them to treat Hill to be a little bit like he's Stolarz when they're playing every second night here.
Yeah, I think that's fair. They have 2 more games this week, right? It's Philly Thursday, Saturday, Vancouver.
Yeah,
I think
like Monday, Wednesday.
And then it's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday next week. It's against Colorado, the Mammoth, Vegas, and I think the Wild potentially. Anyways, the Wild's mixed in there. Huge one. But I think you just have to be careful with his workload, and I think that Hill to be should definitely start Thursday night. I know you're trying to. It's enticing as a coach where you're perceived number one when you're chasing in the standings, but you got to be careful, or you're going to have a Hill to be Akhtiamov duo again. Because I guess Stolarz has been on the ice. So that's
skating, good. But they're still not given a timeline. So of course, I don't really know what that means.
But I saw him like out there wearing goalie equipment, so that's a plus.
Yeah, but my guess is like it's a wait till after Olympics thing for sure. Anything else?
Yeah, I got a couple things.
Okay.
Power play looks fantastic.
Really does.
Didn't get a goal. Did they get a? They didn't get one tonight, right?
No. But the second time around, they actually gave up like a scary shorthanded chance. But outside of that, it was buzzing, and it's the same thing. Guys are moving around. They're in different spots. The Knies, it's so funny because like Knies in the bumper seems to just have unlocked so much, and also having Michelli out there. I don't know what you do when Nylander comes back.
Here's what I'm going to say. Yeah. One of our favorite podcasters of all time, Bill Simmons. The Ewing Theory Committee is assembling in Toronto.
Yeah, I know. I don't even want to talk about it because it's like, it's real.
It's real, man. Like Willie, Willie's one of the, most offensively talented players in the league, dynamic. How many times do you think about him tonight?
I did. But for the reasons you talked about.
It wasn't because of his arms exposed in the press box. That's why you didn't think of it?
No.
The power play looks way better without him.
Yeah.
He's a puck stopper out there, and Michelli moves it the second it touches his stick. You and I should be the head coach. We asked for this, multiple times over their horrid stretch to get Michelli out on the top unit. Michelli couldn't even get in the games, let alone on the top unit. And it's like, maybe that was a bit of a mistake too, that this guy sat 10 straight games. Cause at times he's really dynamic offensively, and he's a perfect guy for a top power play unit.
Yeah.
I'm just starting to wonder if the uncles were always right about trading Willie for a top D man. That's all I'm saying. That conversation is back. It's back.
You had to just bring up the big guns, to close the show. You're just
it's back.
Okay.
It's back.
I'm not saying that conversation's back, but I will say that there really is pressure on him when he comes back in a way that I don't think has been there before in his career, outside of when he came back from the contract negotiation, when he played the worst of his career.
Yeah. And before we go, last thing, Bennett. He is terrifying.
Yeah.
When he's around your net. He's we should do. Okay. I do have 2 more last things. Sorry, buddy. I know you got to go to bed, but Bennett, he just floats around your goalie and he's just waiting to fall on him. And I wish Lorentz had done the same thing at the other end of the ice. Too nice a guy. Absolute green light to explode one of the premier goalies in the league. A lot of premier tonight, saying premier a lot, but one of the better goalies in the league where you're getting chased, get tripped, and you try jump out of your way. Let's just say Sam Bennett was on the same breakaway. What would have happened there?
Yeah, I actually didn't think Bennett was great tonight.
I noticed him a lot.
Yeah, so did I.
He's dangerous, and when he's around your net, it's terrifying. That's what I'm getting at.
But that's it. Is he certainly has a presence, and he was one of their most engaged players. But I watched them play the Avalanche the other day, and I watched the Winter Classic game. So it's like I've had some Panthers ramp up here.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, man, they better win gold because I am going to be the number one.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually bothering me. Like I
think about it at least twice a day.
That's what I'm saying. Like I just the Colorado game, he was the best player on the ice, scored a goal. He was an absolute dog, and they beat Colorado. Mm-hmm. And I'm just watching him play going, how? Like how it's just inexcusable. It really is. It's just, it's like, I will hate John Cooper for the rest. Like I'm already not exactly Mr. Cooper's biggest fan, but when he's Canada's head coach and he's waxing poetic about Canada, like I get behind it.
I like him.
But if he's on a podium talking about them losing and Cirelli's -1, I'll be.
But okay, so I'm team no Cirelli too, but we had Valakat on our show today. And I asked him.
Yeah, nerds love him.
But just some of the stuff he brought up was like extremely eye-opening. So
yeah, he's great.
He's not a bum, but he's not Bennett.
No one thinks he's a bum. That's never there. It's Team Canada's forward group, buddy. They left Mark Scheifele off it. Like it's a very, very, very good team. I'm just saying that the guy who won the Conn Smythe and who was their driver to beat the United States the last time and who fought the United States the last time, leaving him off the roster when he's absolutely buzzing right now. And putting it around like slow start, it doesn't sit well with me. It just doesn't. And especially like it's not the kid's fault, but I'm watching the juniors and the game is becoming more individual for Canada. It's just our style of play has clearly changed. And that's not their fault. I don't think it's just like purely people want to be like, oh, this is a soft team. It's like, no, man, this is the way that the game is going. And this is what we're rewarding.
Yeah.
And it's more skill coach hockey. It's less team hockey, more individual hockey. And I just look at a guy like Sam Bennett. I'm like, man, this is the guy that you want to have on your team. Yeah. This is team hockey. So whatever. That's my big Lawton or I read Lawton in the chat. That's my big Bennett praise.
We don't talk about the refs.
Yeah.
But if we were going to talk about the refs tonight, Lawton. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What is it? You got to hear a lot of talk about game management and there's just no ever better explanation or sort of, reason. That's not the word I'm looking for. Example is the word I'm looking for. There's no better example of game management than what you're just looking at right there. I mean, the ref, like this is as dangerous. Like that's a potentially hearing.
I actually think that the ref just straight up froze. Cause like you see this kind of moment, if you're looking at him in the shot where he kind of does like a little bounce, because I think he's like, wait, clearly got hit up from behind, but I gapped out. Like I blanked, but one of those guys, like, I mean, that's so bad, man.
That's as dangerous as a hit as you're going to see. Like that's as bad as it gets. The ref is staring
right there,
right at it.
That's what I'm saying though, about, I think it's more when you're saying game management of them.
That's game management.
I don't think that is. I think that's just a brain fart. I think that's pure and simple. Like
you're allowed to put your hand up 2 seconds later.
Yeah, and he should have. Like, man, the worst thing about the NBA is how they do the call when the ball doesn't go in.
Yeah,
where it's like the guy goes to the basket, he screams, the whistle doesn't blow, and then the ball rolls off the rim, and then the ref's like, all right, give him 2. That was one where it was like, you should have had the same thing where it's like Lawton's laying on the ice face first and
that's
getting
a hearing,
up slow.
Man. I'm sorry, that's a hearing. Like, look at what? Like, look at that freeze frame. If you're watching. He's staring at it.
No.
Like honestly, he should get 5K for that.
For sure.
Like if we're going to talk about the Panthers stuff and I love to talk about it.
Yeah.
This is going to be a big one. If there's nothing for this, it's firing up tomorrow because he didn't get penalized.
It's firing up tomorrow.
It is.
I know, but Farrell's is like, oh God, I got to give him 5K. McKee's fired up tomorrow. Yeah, I know.
Because, he didn't get anything. It's not like they can be like, oh, he got a game misconduct for it or a 5-minute major. like it wasn't penalized
that's
in the
a fine.
game. He got nothing for it. It's definitely a fine, but he'll get nothing
Dangerous
because he plays the Panthers. He'll get nothing.
I actually do think he'll get something. Like
How
that
much you wanna
freeze
bet?
frame from how
Want
far
to bet
away.
5K on it?
Yeah, but just how far away he is with the numbers showing.
Yeah,
It's hard to not like
it's a joke.
fast game, all that stuff. But normally it's like the situation is the guy turned late, and that's not it. That's just numbers showing the whole way, and
it's
you
just hilarious. And then 2 minutes later, the little tap on the hand to Rielly, and the ref he's like, arm up, like
right
it's
away.
like, oh my
Box.
God. I hate hockey sometimes.
Yeah,
so
box.
Box. Verstappen over here.
Box.
Push.
Yeah. All right. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at JD Bunkis, at Sam McKee. You're going to see a lot of us over the next couple of weeks, over the next month. God, the workload is going to be intense.
Heavy.
Subscribe to the podcast. Leave 5 stars. Leave a thumbs up on the old YouTube, and we will see you on Thursday.